Well, before the last 9 years, I did a lot of documentaries about human rights, international development. So I was filming basically in development countries. In that period, I made over 50 documentaries. So I was quite busy, and of course I traveled a lot, and I seen a lot of the world, the beauty part, but the dark corners as well. And after 9 years, I had the urge to bit of rest because I seen a lot, I traveled a lot, and I needed some time for myself to let it sink in. And so I planned a sabbatical for a year. I went to my parents-in-law, which are living in a very small region of Germany, Saxony-Anhalt. There I came across the windmills were popping up in the region as, and not only one wind park, but the complete region is full of windmills. And the agriculture has switched from the conventional farming for example, potatoes, livestock, vegetables, into the production of energy crops, because we have a sort of radicalized energy policy, where it's very profitable for the farmer to have a windmill on the meadow. And so the farmers are switching very easily because their potatoes are globalized. Nowadays much easier and cheaper to get our potatoes from the Netherlands, get our milk from New Zealand. So the farmers were kind of struggling. When you're struggling to survive and you need to maintain your farm and your family, and then the government will put out policies which make it very attractive for the farmer to survive in a more convenient way, then they are of course switching very rapidly from that potatoes into renewable energies, because that's, the farmer is not concerned about climate or something or food security. They're just concerned about maintaining their family and their livelihoods, and that's what they're doing. And you cannot blame the farmer, of course, because they're just surviving. But I think you can blame the government in putting out these radicalized energy policies, and don't have it in mind that food security, domestic food security, is even so important than having reliable energy. And so my fear was, one side I was happy for the farmers that they had an income, but on the other side it rose questions from, is it really sustainable? Because we're losing a lot of valuable land. Instead we're receiving unreliable, very expensive energy. So we're losing a lot by doing this, and I don't think that we should see this as an experiment. And before you have a huge system shift like we do now with the energy transition, in my opinion, you need to be very sure that things are working. And so that was my biggest concern. Are we doing the right thing, and are we not losing too much valuable land? And besides of that, I've seen in the third world countries, one of the major problems is that people simply don't have arable land anymore. So they're not able to grow their own food, to sell their own food, so to get an income, pay healthcare, education. And that is a big problem in the world. 40% of the world's arable land is already degraded. And what you're receiving with the energy crops, it's, you're only having monocultures, which in the long run degrading land. And that's a big concern for the future, to not only have domestic food security, but also to take care of your land, because that's affecting biodiversity, it's causing environmental conflicts. And I think we should, well, when we have that system shift, you should maintain people, planet, profit. And when you see that is out of balance, which I see right now, that it's not contributing to people, because energy is becoming very expensive and very unreliable. Every year 300,000 German households are simply not able to pay their bills anymore, so they cut off for electricity. And that's an image of nowadays that you see in this high developed developed Western world. Families celebrating Christmas with only a candlelight because they're not able to pay their electricity bills anymore. And most of the Germans like to present itself as the biggest economy in Europe, but most Germans are not particularly wealthy, and it's over 20% of the population is threatened by poverty, which is 60 million people, and that the proportions of threatened people are higher than ever since the unification of West and East Germany. So I think Germany faces a lot of problems, and we should be very careful in dealing with these problems. And when you do that system shift, and you see that the people are not able to go with that system shift, you should ask very critical questions. And if not, you should question yourself, why are we doing this? Are we saving the climate? Do we want to save the climate? Do we want to save the planet? Or do we want to save humanity? Mm-hmm. And I think it should stay a project for the contribution to humanity, to develop ourselves. And you see that balance is completely out of balance, and also the distortion we see in degraded land, the use of monocultures, disturbing the ecological functions, the biodiversity. So in the balance of people, planet, profit, you see that the people are not benefiting it, the planet is not benefiting it, only the profits are benefiting it. And then you should raise serious questions.